Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala anbiya Allahi jami'an wa ala khatamihim habibi ilahi al-alameen. Abil Qasim al-Moustafa Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala ahli baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad كما صليت وسلمت وباركت وترحمت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وصل اللهم وسلم على خلفاء نبيك وأوصيائه وأهل بيته وأحبته علي أمير المؤمنين وقائد الغر المحجلين وعلى البضعة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين وعلى سبطي نبي الرحمة وسيدي شباب أهل الجنة الحسن والحسين عليهما السلام وعلى علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والإمام الخلف الهادي المهدي عجل الله تعالى فرجه. My dear friends, I remind my own self and remind you too to get hold of piety and righteousness and the fear of God. اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Our Lord states in Surah As-Sajdah, which is chapter 32, verse number 24. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وجعلنا منهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا لما صبروا وكانوا بآياتنا يوقنون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. On April 2nd, the Friday sermon was about the leadership and the quality of patience, because this specific verse speaks about the credentials of a universal leader, an imam. What is his main credentials? And it mentions two qualities, two prerequisites to be a universal imam for the entire universe. One of them is sabr, patience, which we spoke about on April 2nd. The second is yaqeen, certainty. What is the meaning of yaqeen? This is the subject of today's presentation, which is April 16th. As to the first one, sabr, I spoke about that. And I concluded with a verse from Surah Yusuf, which is chapter 12, verse number 90. إِنَّهُ مَنْ يَتَّقِ وَيَصْبِرُ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Verily, verily, whosoever is reverent and patient, God would not neglect the reward of the virtuous. I concluded that day with this verse. This is a promise from God. If you are patient in your life, and we must be patient in our life, in different aspects of our life, different dimensions of our life, we must exercise patience with your family, with your neighbors, with your government, with your co-workers, with your friends, with the society at large, with people in the streets. We must exercise patience. God says patience is not going to go unnoticed. This is a promise of God. إِنَّهُ, verily, مَنْ يَتَّقِ وَيَصْبِرُ. Whosoever is reverent and patient. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. God would not neglect or overlook the reward of the virtuous. And what we need to learn in this month of Ramadan, through the fasting that we are exercising now, we are observing the fast now. What do we learn? We must learn patience. patience with ourselves and others. Cool down. Don't get frustrated easily. Don't get angry easily. Don't give up hope easily. Be patient. So that is the first quality of a universal leader. A universal leader cannot be ordained by God as a leader unless he possesses this important quality. And in fact, it's the first quality. If he doesn't pass this test of patience, he would not even be anything. Today, a mayor cannot be a good mayor or a good governor if he doesn't have patience. So that is the first quality, and we spoke about that earlier, 2 weeks ago. Today, let me speak about Yaqeen. وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. Those leaders, they had certainty in our signs. They had no doubt in our signs. In Surah Al-An'am, which is chapter number 6, verse number 75, God speaks about Abraham. And he says Abraham is a universal leader because we allowed him to observe and to see the malakut, the dominion. Dominion is a territory with a considerable size, malakut. وَكَذَلِكَ, and thus we allow Abraham to see, to observe. وَكَذَلِكَ نُرِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ مَلَكُوتَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلْيَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُوقِنِينَ. That he might be among those who are possessing certainty. They reached the level of certitude. And certitude, my friends, we read in the Islamic literature, it's the highest level of faith. Faith has levels and degrees and grades. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. We've been told through certain hadiths that the faith of a believer has 6 grades. The highest level is number 6, and that is called Yaqeen, certainty. When he or she reaches that level, level 6, level of certainty, then his faith is integrated and completed. Doesn't have any deficiency or any shortages. So God says about Ibrahim, we allowed him to see the dominion of the heaven and the earth. And the dominion here, my friends, means the secrets, the hidden things that not anyone would be able to see. These are special sights, special things that we, the humans, normal humans, we cannot see, we cannot fathom, we cannot understand. And therefore, when Ibrahim saw this dominion, he became one of those who possessed certainty, and therefore he is beyond doubt. See, my friends, we doubt a lot. A lot. Every single day we have doubt about something. Sometimes we have doubt about the existence of God. It happens. It happens to so many of us. Ask yourself how many times you had doubt about the existence of God between you and yourself and you didn't share it with others. It happens. We have doubt about the prophets of God. We have prophets about this book of God, the Holy Quran. Doubts about the messengers of God, the prophets of God. We have doubt about the Holy Book. Is this the book of God, really? Or maybe someone else wrote this book. We have doubt about death. We have doubt about life after death. Many people have many doubts about life after death. Are we really going to be resurrected? Is this true? There is resurrection. There is day of judgment. Is there anything called paradise? Where is paradise? How is paradise? They can't even perceive it. Where is hellfire? Where God is going to gather all those people on that day? So we have doubts, we have questions, we have uncertainties. Sometimes we have suspicion. Sometimes we have confusion, which is okay. Okay, these things are okay because we are dealing with something metaphysical. And we are used to think and believe in things that we see, we touch, we smell, we hear. So when it goes beyond that, then we're going to have doubts. And these doubts sometimes are positive signs. They allow us to research, to study more, to ask more, to inquire more, and to learn more. Even Abraham himself, when he started his journey to faith, he was demonstrating to his community how he was moving forward, growing, and learning. It's in the Quran. He sees the sun, he says, "This is my Lord." Then the sun sets. He says, "How come a Lord goes away?" Then he sees the moon, he says, "This is my Lord." When the moon sets too, he says, "Then how can I worship a Lord that he's absent?" So he was showing to he knew about God, but he wanted for them to learn how to believe in God. And this is how we should teach our children about God. So what is yaqeen, my friends? Yaqeen, when we study ilm, knowledge, we have two types of knowledge. Two types of knowledge. One type is al-ilm al-husuli. The other one is al-ilm al-huduri. And there is a difference between them. Husuli means deduction. You receive it, you get it through deduction. For instance, if I say a train, an airplane, a ship, you don't see it obviously. You hear about it. So you start imagining it. The picture of the train or the ship or the airplane is going to gather in your mind. And therefore, this is how you get to know it. You see the picture, you don't see the actual thing. This is al-ilm al-husuli. Whereas when it comes to God, the knowledge of God is not husuli, is not through deduction, is not through pictures, it is through reality. God sees the things, the actual things, not their pictures, not their shapes, the actual things, the actual material things. This is huduri. Huduri means the actual thing is present with God. It's not absent from His sight. Now I am looking at you. I am looking at a lens. Okay? At a lens, camera. I can't see other things. I might think about them. I might think about millions of things right now, but I can't see them. I might see their pictures. Whereas when it comes to God, His knowledge is different from my knowledge. God's knowledge is huduri. Huduri means everything that comes to His mind, which everything comes to His mind, okay? Nothing is absent from His mind, not even for a second. Everything in this universe and beyond this universe comes to His mind. When it comes to His mind, He doesn't see the pictures like me. He sees the actual things. That is the difference between husuli, you get the picture. Huduri, you get the thing itself, the actual thing itself. Yaqeen, certainty, means that you see the actual thing, not the picture of the thing, not the imagination, but the thing itself, the reality. And therefore some philosophers believe that God allowed some prophets, maybe not all of them, some of them, to obtain al-ilm al-huduri, that when things are mentioned to them or they come to their mind, they see them itself, not their pictures. They see the thing itself. The thing itself becomes a present in front of them. This is the meaning of yaqeen, beyond doubt. Imam Ali would say something amazing. He says, Wallah, law kushifa li al-hijab mazdattu yaqina. If the curtain is removed from my eyes, the cover is removed, my certainty would not increase, because I am 100% certain. I have reached the full level of certainty. And the cover is mentioned in the Quran, Surah Qaf, chapter 50. فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ. At the time of death, the cover is going to be removed from our eyes. Now our eyes are covered. There is a veil covering our eyes. Why? Because we live in a limited world, al-hayatud dunya, the lower one. What we see physical things. We cannot see spiritual things. Again, philosophers, they say this world is divided into 3 layers, 3 realms. Number 1, the lower and the first stage and the basic realm is this lower life, where we can see things and we can feel them through our senses. We see things, the sight, the hearing, the taste, the smelling, and the touching. This is why we know that things are there. We are aware of them because of the 5 senses. But that is the basic one. Prophets, imams, they have been upgraded. They can see the metaphysical, and that is the second stage. Metaphysical, you don't see the substance, the material itself. You see the picture of it. It is the spiritual world. So like the angels do not have a physical shape, a physical substance. They don't. But Prophet Muhammad used to see them, used to see the angel. Imam Ali alayhi salam used to see the angel. God would allow them. Mary alayhi salam, Mary the mother of Jesus, she saw the angel Gabriel. She conversed with him. Many other prophets. Sometimes a prophet, sometimes not a prophet. Doesn't have to be a prophet or messenger. Angels would come and visit an ordinary person with the permission of God, of course. This is the spiritual realm. This is the metaphysical. So that is the second. The third one, alamul aql, the rational realm. Alamul aql. What is alamul aql? This is even higher. That is the third layer, the highest layer. And that is designated for the prophets and the imams, universal imams too, where neither the substance itself is there, nor the picture of it. Neither the substance, the physical substance is there, nor the picture of it is there. But the reality about it is there. The reality, the truth about it. They know about it. And that is the third stage. God says in the Quran, Alimul Ghaybi wa Shahada. In this life, there are 2 worlds. Ghayb, the unseen. Shahada is the outer one, the physical one. The one that we see, the one that we feel. Ghayb is the esoteric, the subsurface, the hidden one. The hidden one, we are not allowed to see it now. We will see it later on. But the prophets and the imams, they see it now in this life. They see it. How can Imam al-Mahdi observe us? He has a human being. He has a human body. He's a human being. He has physical eyes like us. But he can, with the power of God, with the permission of God, with the leave of God, excuse me, he can see things beyond the veil. God would give him that power. Prophet Muhammad used to see things during his lifetime. God would allow him in certain instances to see things that ordinary people they did not see, or to hear things. In the Battle of Badr, Prophet Muhammad came to the polytheists where they were on the ground. They were killed. And he was talking to them. Some companions said, أَتُكَلِّمُ أَجْسَادًا مَيِّتًا? Are you speaking to dead? They don't hear you. The Prophet said, وَاللَّهِ مَا أَنْتُمْ بِأَسْمَعَ مِنْهُمْ وَلَوْ أُذِنَ لَهُمْ لَأَجَابُوا. You guys here, you can't even hear better than them. They hear me. They are hearing me right now. And if God gives them permission to answer, they will answer me. The Prophet was telling them, did you find what God promised you true? For I have found what God has promised me to be true. He was talking to dead. So, Quran says at the time of death in chapter 50, once we die, we are out of this cage. Which cage? The cage of the body. This is a cage containing the soul. When the soul gets out of this cage, this is the smallest cage, the minor cage, and the biggest cage is what? The lower life. The lower life, this life, is also a cage, is a prison, my friend. This is a prison cell, but it's a huge, gigantic. We are freed from these two cages. We are freed. فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ. This is chapter 50, beautiful chapter in the Quran, verse number 22. فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. We removed the cover from your eyes, therefore, so today your sight is piercing, hadid. It's unlimited, you can see everything. In this life, though our eyes sometimes are 6/6, perfect vision. The doctor tells you you have perfect vision, but it is not perfect. You see limited, confined. Your vision is confined to your senses. After death, it is freed from this body. Therefore, we can see the hellfire. We can see the paradise. We can see the day of judgment. We can see the angels. In the grave, when they put us in the grave, 2 angels are going to come and interrogate us. 2 angels. We see them. We talk to them. Even when we are buried, the Prophet, the hadith says, إِنَّ الْمَيِّتَ لَيَسْمَعُ خَفْقَ النَّعَالِ عَلَى قَبْرِهِ. A dead person in his grave, 6 feet under, is able to hear people walking above his grave. The sound of the sandal above his grave. فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ. The cover is removed. So this is certainty. At the end, next Friday, if I'm still alive, we're going to continue on these 2 virtues of patience and certainty, and how they apply to our imams, the imams of the school of Ahlul Bayt. How they apply to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his descendants, the imams, the infallible imams. Therefore, they have been ordained as universal leaders because they possess these 2 qualities. So the meaning of certainty is that the presence of things is right before their eyes, not the picture. And that is with the leave of God, with the permission of God, with the ability of God. God will give and bestow this ability. May Allah accept your fast, your Quranic recitation during this holy month. Remember those who are in need. Let's give more and share more with others. Sometimes the sharing is food, it's physical food, money. sometimes is spiritual and moral. Try to bring peace. Try to speak peace. Try to achieve peace. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Try to bring relief. Try to bring happiness. Try to remove the burden from people during this month. This is a month of sharing. This is a month of mercy. We need the mercy of God. We need the forgiveness of God. So let's be forgiving with each other. Let's be of benefit to each other. I leave you with the protection of God, hoping that tonight at 9 p.m. I'll see you again, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ahli baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.